We were all about to start running back in, too.
I was doing the salute. Oh, my God.
You stirring them up over here?
I don't know. Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, that red, white, and blue.
Sending in an eagle.
Oh.
Administering freedom.
Oh.
Hey, can you guys... Oh, shit.
Oh, whoa.
Sorry. My first words in like 2 minutes when it ties recording.
Oh, you're good.
Hey, can you guys oh shit?
We drew him out. Now I know how KJ Jefferson felt. Oh, no. I survived. Oh, we got the sweep. We got the sweep. This Razorback team got the sweep. 3, 2, 1, yo. What's going on, Arkansas Razorback fans? I'm in a great mood. Let's get the right layout. Boom. And the logo gone. There we go. All right. Trying something a little different. I told you we have some changes coming to the channel. And one of the things I might be something that we're experimenting with. We might be doing a little bit of gaming with some Razorback fans in Discord, and we're gonna record them and we're gonna upload them. Probably not on this channel. We're maybe making a second channel for the show, so you guys keep an eye out on that. That's something that it sounds like we're gonna be doing. All right, I got to dust off the gold chain, baby. As you can see, it's not behind me. This heavy, totally real gold chain is on my desk. It's on my desk, and I'm going to be putting it on for somebody. All right. Yeah, that game we're playing, by the way, is called Helldivers 2. That was the game that you saw in the intro. I'm sure a lot of you know what it is. If you don't, you need to find out. You need to play it because Helldivers 2 is fantastic. It's addictive. It's so good. Don't recommend playing it by yourself. You want to play with your boys or go play some rando groups. Don't play solo. It's just not. It's like a solid 5 to play solo, but when you play with your boys, it's like a solid 9.5 or 10. So I highly recommend Helldivers 2. If you do go at it on your own, make sure you group up, even if it's with randos. They're having some server issues, but hopefully they get that all fixed. All right. Oh my gosh. Jay Carpenter says chain goes to Mark. There's an argument to be made here. It could go to a couple of guys. And we're going to go over these numbers in just a second. First off, shout out to Tuss Talk with Ty Patreon supporters. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe, by the way. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. If you want to join Patreon, I almost did a call-in show. I came close, but the last show we did was a call-in, and no one picked up the phone. So I thought, we'll make this one we won't do a call-in. Also, of course, sponsors, Direct Service Overhead, the garage door company located or operate. I don't know why I always do that. They operate out of Central Arkansas and in Northwest Arkansas. Same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes. Give them a call today, 501-244-3667. Better than best results. They'll come give you a free estimate. Also, the Odd Soul Craft Bar and Pizzeria on Emma Street in Springdale. Fantastic pies. Good stuff on tap. They've got you covered. Great environment to watch a game or just to hang out with friends. That's the Odd Soul Craft Bar and Pizzeria. Did somebody say Owl is in chat? Did somebody say Owl is in chat? Well, I'm scrolling up and I'm not seeing him. I go into SLR. By the way, big shout out to Pigpen, SLR, all those guys over there. I have a lot of fun in those chats. Sports Live Reaction, it's just a quality channel. I'll just tell you that, especially when you don't have access to certain games. I don't see Al in here. Oh, there he is. Oh, he gave me a heart emoji. Okay. What's up, Al? You unblocked me. You unblocked me, Al. Oh, okay. Did we make up? I know they were telling me you blocked me and you were kind of talking trash. Listen, I make jokes. If I go too far, I'm sorry. I apologize. Sometimes I go too far. I do. All right. But thank you for being here, Al, and maybe you'll consider subscribing if you haven't already. Coach found his team, says Steve Dobbins. This feels good. This was here we go again. This was the team that showed up, maybe not in the same way. You know, you're missing Brazil, you're missing some key pieces. They had injuries. They were banged up tonight. You know, no Minifield tonight. We know Brazil wasn't, of course, he's still not good to go. They were missing pieces. And yet that same team that showed up against Purdue and Duke, A&M in the first game, showed up tonight. That team that played with a very high level of intensity. They didn't stop. They fought for every loose ball. The perimeter defense to start off, I wasn't super thrilled with, and then they corrected it as they went. This looked more like the teams of the past. Listen, there's a reason why I didn't do on this prediction. What was the prediction for this one in Discord? It was leading scorer. I didn't do because I assumed everyone would pick A&M. It was too easy. Turned out these guys proved me wrong. It was not that easy. Arkansas finds a way. Even banged up, they found a way to get the dub. And they did it with again, guys not playing. Here, your starting five was Lawson, Ellis, Mark, Davis, and Battle. Devo's minutes, even though he was playing tonight, I don't think he played a single minute in the second half. He had 7 total minutes. I want to make sure that this is correct. Let me refresh this stat sheet really quick. Sometimes it's not always correct. Let's go over let's see what the hell happened here. All right, Arkansas wins by 7. They led by double digits there for a little bit. It was weird. It felt like they were in control. Even when A&M was able to kind of bring this thing down a little bit, get it within 4 or 5 points, it still felt like Arkansas was in control. Now, I also thought they were going to take a dump. I thought they were going to crap their britches in the final few minutes of the game. A few wasted possessions, either because of shot clock issues, not being able to, dribbling the ball or holding on to the ball up on top of the perimeter with like 6 seconds left to go on the shot clock, and then just some kind of wasted shot and essentially turn the ball over without actually turning it over because of their inability to run a solid offense. But tonight, they figured something out with Mitchell. And we've seen this now more than once. They have figured something out around the post a little bit with Mitchell. And there were some times tonight where I thought this is going to end up being a wasted possession. And they managed to either draw a foul or find a way to get buckets. Mark tonight was incredible. I kept saying this was his equivalent to like the Michael Jordan flu game with that bum shoulder. I know, not near. It was just, hypotheticals, being funny, whatnot. But Tremont Mark ends up having a wonderful night. So let's start off with A&M. What the hell happened with A&M? Well, they shot, especially in the second half. It seemed like the majority of their points were coming from the free throw line. They were 20 of 60 tonight. That's good enough for 33.3% overall shooting. 6 of 20 outside. Hey, I appreciate the PayPal, John Westbrook. Thank you. No one ever does that anymore. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. 30% outside shooting for A&M. 64% shooting outside, out in the perimeter. At the free throw line. 25 of 39. 6 of 20 outside. 20 of 60 overall. I'm getting scatterbrained here. I've got chat up. I got banned off, or I got shut down on Facebook. I don't know what the hell's going on. Facebook says I violated their terms. I don't know what I did wrong, so I wasn't able to post anywhere on Facebook. And so I'm doing things a little bit different tonight. I've got my phone up and I've got all this different. So I'm getting a little. Let's stay on point here, shall we? Wade Taylor tonight, they held to 11 points. Radford, they held to 12. I would not have seen that coming. Their leading scorer ends up being Carter, who had 14 points. Not a horrible game for Taylor. I mean, he did have 11 points, 9 assists. 9 assists for Taylor. I mean, one way or another, he can have an impact on this game, and that's a hell of a lot of assists. 9 total assists. Radford would end up with 2. Those 2 would lead in that category. But again, Carter ends up with the most points. Washington tonight came close to a double-double for A&M. He had 7 points, just 2 turnovers, 1 assist, and 10 boards. They are an offensive rebounding machine. They had 19 total offensive rebounds to Arkansas's 11. Let's see, what did they get from their bench? 27 points off their bench. It's pretty good production. You could tell they were trying to figure things out, especially with Wade Taylor and Radford just more or less locked down. The job they did on those 2 guys was incredible. All right, let's go to Arkansas. It's not like they were much better outside of one category, and I think it's ultimately why they probably won, along with the great defense that they played tonight. 23 of 59%, or 23 of 59, 39% from the floor. 4 of 15 outside shooting. That's good enough for just sub 27%. Free throw line, 28 of 34, 82, almost 82.5% there. A lot of points off their bench, over 30, about 30, I don't know, 30-something. It's a good production. Obviously, Mitchell was unbelievable. Mitchell was incredible. 6 of 9 overall, 10 of 12 at the line, 10 of 12. That's your guy playing down around the paint. That's your big going 10 to 12, 5 offensive boards, 8 defensive boards. That's 13 assists, 4 blocks, 22 points. I don't know. I don't know, you guys. That's pretty damn impressive. 5 offensive boards. These are all this is his best game ever as a Razorback when you put all these numbers together. Just 2 turnovers, no assists, no steals, 13 to. I mean, the guy had a double-double. He's your leading scorer off the bench. However, by the way, Lawson and Davis, who were 2 starters, ended up with no points. Tremont Mark, 8 of 16, 2 of 3 outside, 2 big threes, by the way, one of which he was fouled on. 8 of 10 at the free throw line. You kind of expect him to do that, right? 80%. You're gonna love that off 10 attempts. 6 total rebounds, all defensive. 5 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. He did turn it over 3 times. You guys know turnovers for me. The more you go north of about 2 or 3, you're coming down off my list a little bit. 3 fouls. I thought a couple of those fouls. Listen, the officiating, I thought throughout most of this game, it was not good. It did not feel like it all was in Arkansas's favor. Obviously, Arkansas caught more fouls. You expect the home team to get a little bit of an advantage there. That's why we call it home cooking. Man, there were some rough ones. I thought 1 or 2 of Mark's were just bullshit. Let's be real. A lot of them were, not just on him. You had Blocker and Davenport, both who ended up with 4 fouls. A&M, however, did have 2 players foul out. 3. I'm sorry. Lawrence, Taylor, Carter, and Lawrence. Yeah, Lawrence. Yeah, I got him. There we go. Carter, Taylor, Lawrence. So, although Arkansas did get, of course, several of those shots were late in the game, and that's a little bit different than when the fouls are not on purpose compared to, the way the final minute and a half or so, the way these games go. There's some of those, they want to conserve the clock and get some late fouls. Arkansas, this was some of the best basketball they've played all year. I mean, I did not see this coming. I did not see them sweeping. I even said before the season, before we knew how bad things would get for Arkansas, I would never have picked Arkansas to sweep them, although Arkansas's played really well against A&M since Muss has been here. I'm almost just shocked at how well they played tonight. Just think about it. If they could have done this in the last game, you're talking about a couple of SEC wins that you picked up along the way. Arkansas is starting to play that typical mid to late February Musselman basketball. It's coming around. My problem is that this team just still has so many deficiencies. I don't know how much they can keep this up, but I'm really proud of the way they played tonight. Again, this was all hustle on both ends of the floor. I saw some much better transition defense. guys going back, and then they were able to still do it and still crash the boards. I mean, you did get, you were -6 here, total boards. They had 46 to your 40, but still they did a much better job of either attempting to box out or going after those loose balls off the rim. Again, 40 rebounds to their 46. A&M had those 39 free throw attempts. Arkansas had 34. Again, a lot of those were just the calls at the end of the game where A&M's just trying to foul. But yeah, all right. Player who gets the gold chain. This is one of the toughest ones I've seen all year. Love that even though our season has been down, nice to sweep the Aggies, says Mr. Kicks. I agree, man. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. Who do you guys think gets the gold chain tonight? Who am I putting this on for? This is tough. I want to give it to Mark so bad, but there is a legitimate argument here that Mitchell, despite not being the leading scorer, has the best. Again, 5 offensive boards, 13 total rebounds, 4 blocks in a single game, 4 blocks, just 2 turnovers, 3 fouls, 22 points, 10 of 12 at the line, 6 of 9 overall shooting. And I thought he had an assist. I thought he had at least 1 assist. Again, I don't see it on the Arkansas site either on the stat sheet. You guys tell me. Nathaniel Looney says Mitchell. Charles Alvarez says Mitchell. Drooby Dooby Doo says both of them. Yeah, and this is the thing. The other Mike hits the nail on the head right here. Mark got to take into account the shoulder. Again, this was incredible considering that dude, he went into the locker room with his shoulder slumping. I thought he was done. I thought Mitchell was done. I thought that's it. Or Mitchell, sorry. Mark. I thought Mark was done. The way he was drooping and running to the locker room, I was like, oh, no. And he comes back out and he balls out. He took a couple of unwarranted shots, but listen, you're okay with that coming from him. Blocker's going to be a stud, says Stevie. I was very impressed with Blocker. We haven't even talked about the actual individual effort tonight. And of course, Devo caught a couple of early fouls early on. I think he ended up with 3 fouls. Yeah, he ended up with 3 total fouls. He had 2 turnovers tonight. He did not play well. Tremont Mark did have the 3 turnovers, but he did have a block. He had a steal. He played 36 minutes tonight, 8 of 16 according to the stat broadcast sheet. I'm seeing a lot of votes for Mitchell. We would have lost without Mitchell. He is my vote, says Cade. Mark is runner-up. Mitchell gets the gold chain. I have to agree. And now you can make the exact same argument for Tremont Mark, Cade. You can make the exact same argument. Without his effort tonight, you don't win, without a doubt. Although Battle Battle ended up with 15 points tonight. It's not like he played terrible. Only 1 turnover, 2 assists, 4 rebounds, 4 total rebounds, 1 offensive board, and just 3 fouls. But Tremont Mark is a close runner-up. This is as close as it's ever been, and I love that. But I've got to go to Mitchell. It's got to go to Mitchell. With his play tonight, his heads-up playing, he was actually taking up a little bit of space. A&M is really good around the iron. They're very good. And this guy kind of just put his flag into the ground like he did it for democracy. Like he did it like as if he were playing Helldivers 2, baby. I'm telling you, I'm addicted to this game. He's putting it in for democracy. He's fighting for freedom, for the Razorbacks. I was so impressed. And Mark, too, again, that shoulder, he's the leading scorer. He had 6 boards. Come on. He had 6 boards. He did it all, but I was so impressed with Mitchell's play tonight. 22 points, I did not think he would have this kind of night against this kind of team. A&M, who's played really well versus quad 1 opponents, and one of the areas of domination for them has been in that area. It looked a little easy. If you watch some of these guards, they're able to slash right to the rim. So, again, very impressed. It's a tough one. It really could be a coin flip in either one of them, maybe both of them. If I had a second chain, I'd probably give it to Mark. It's tough. Ty, you need 2 Dookie rope chains, but if we got to pick one, it's Mitchell. he set the team as the floor leader. I agree 110%, Brim. That's why I'm giving it to him. Battle just played ball. He made some bad drives, but the effort was solid. Yeah. I rock with Battle 100. Inconsistent, but I rock with Battle, says Pigpen. Let me scroll up here and try to read your chat. Woo Pig Pod agrees. They say Mitchell. Dizzle McTwizzle. They say Mitchell. See, we're all in agreement here. Got to take. I do agree the other Mike about the shoulder. That is true. I mean, he went off. He had a hell of a game. What do you have against them the first time they played? 35. Mark is their kryptonite, I think. I think Tremont Mark is the Aggies' kryptonite. If he played like that every game, and Mitchell played like that every game, and he has been lately, he's been on, I'm not so sure Arkansas would have as many losses. And Mark won me XP in the Discord. Well, there you go. There you go. Hey, guys, if you're in chat and haven't hit the like, smash that button for Ty in his channel. I appreciate you, Nate. Thank you, Talking Beer. Blocker picked up some more minutes in the block for next game for sure. Looking at the minutes, where they go here. Battling it up with 35 minutes tonight. 26 for L. Ellis. Again, 7 for Devo. He was -5 for those of you who care about that. Lawson ended up with 20 minutes. I'm a little. It didn't really feel like he had. I felt like he had about 25, 30 minutes. I would have guessed. Mark ended up with 36. Blocker with 23. Sorry, Blocker had 23. Mitchell had 33, and then Davenport picked up 20. Their rotation ended up being just 8. We know the injuries are just piling up. They're piling up big time for the Razorbacks. Again, just really impressed with the way they play. Appreciate the retweet, Philip. Appreciate you, my guy. Tim Eskew is asking me on Twitter, is Devo going to step away from the team again because Musselman only played him 7 minutes? That's a good question. You guys know how I feel about the Devo thing. I don't know about whatever the hell's going on. He doesn't show up that Saturday for a game, just doesn't show up. It felt like all of this was just him deciding to do this, right? He's just not going to play. He's going to take some time away. Maybe he just shot Musselman a text. I don't know. And then that's it. And then you let him back on the team. I just don't know. I don't know, you guys. But they certainly look sharp today. Poor Battle cannot buy a 3, says James Freeman. What did he end up doing at 3? It felt like he was 0 for 3. The numbers outside, Ellis goes 0 for 1. Well, Ellis collected a lot of minutes and had a lot of dust. He collected a lot of minutes and he collected a lot of dust while playing at the same time. You never know what you're getting out of Ellis, but more times than not, it feels like he probably should be on the bench. Mark goes 2 of 3 outside. Devo was 0 for. Battle 0 for 3. Mitchell didn't try any, of course. Blocker 1 of 2. Davenport was 1 of 6. And I kind of felt a couple of his were rushed. Probably could have used a little ball movement there. Did you guys see the more ball movement we had tonight? I thought I noticed. I don't know if I'm sure he's still keeping track. You know, he used to talk about keeping track of passes. I saw a lot more ball movement tonight. Again, the transition offense and defense was better. You know, I mean, at a couple different points when they got a loose ball or whatever, you could see there were 3 or 4 Razorbacks down the floor on offense. They outnumbered the Aggies in their transition defense. We haven't seen a lot of that this year. They just played. I don't know. They played the level of ball we've been expecting to see them play every single night. We finally see it. Play like this more. And you're doing it without key pieces, man. Devo a year ago was a key piece. This year, I don't whatever. He's not even a factor anymore. But you don't have Brazil. You didn't have Minifield, and we all know Minifield can catch fire coming off the bench. He can get you a quick 4-6 points. He can have an impact. All of a sudden, you look up on the stat sheet, he's got 5 minutes. He's got 3 assists, 6 points. You know, no turnovers, maybe 1. Maybe a couple free throw attempts. That's what he can do coming off the bench. You didn't have him tonight. Just really impressed with the way they played, all things considered. Yeah, no Graham still. Don't know what's up with Graham. What was it? Was that his knee? Was it his knee? What was it with Graham? That was just recently. What was with Graham? I'm lost on that one. And that's another guy. You talk about coming off the bench and getting you some quick points. Graham is him. Graham can absolutely do that. Hey, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe if you're new. Appreciate the super chats, the PayPals, which I haven't gotten one of those in a while. Appreciate that. If you're just joining us, you're like, who got the chain? It went to Mitchell. Mitchell had an incredible night, 22 points, 4 blocks, 13 boards, 5 of which were offensive rebounds, 8 defensive rebounds, just 2 turnovers. He stayed out of foul trouble for the most part with just 3, played outstanding ball. Tremont Mark is basically like Mitchell is 1A, Mark is 1B, and I wanted to give it to him so bad because of that bum shoulder. I mean, we saw it. I mean, that thing was drooping down, bro. I mean, that thing could have his knuckles probably could have drugged the damn floor. I felt bad for him. Let's see here. Yeah, it was shoulder. Okay. Yeah, okay, that's right. You guys are right. Chain, not change. What did I say, change? Hey, Ty, you need some cool shades or a secondary piece of swag for games like this. Especially if you're going to use the chain for baseball. Well, I don't know. I mean, we might up the maybe we'll up the drip. Y'all can't see it, but I got this shirt. Hey, I'm 40 going on 13. I'm wearing the new shirt, baby. Some new drip. Can't see it. It's Ninja Turtles as ghosts, like Pac-Man for you that don't know what the hell Pac-Man is. It's a popular arcade game from the 1980s. I'm wearing it. Just got it out of the dryer. Just cleaned it and everything. I'm proud of it. I love it. Let's see. No one could shoot a 3 on this team. We have to win in other ways like we did tonight. Yeah, getting to the free throw line, driving to the rim. Mark with the mid-range game. Mitchell getting those buckets around the rim, fighting the way that he was. Typically Graham also around the post. Graham is someone who could light it up and could do some stuff coming right off the bench. That's a guy, another player who can get you going just like that. Now, we've seen that kind of rotate a little bit. Woo Pig Suey, let's finish the season strong and do what it takes to keep Muss happy and a hog. Okay, I got a take on this. You're talking about Musselman. In the very beginning of all this, I've got a new take on the Musselman situation. And I could see this being something maybe that we're just maybe we're overlooking a little bit. If Muss doesn't return, the belief is it's Louisville. And in the very beginning, I said, no way. Arkansas is going to fight. They're going to keep him here. They're going to do everything in their power to keep Muss here. They're going to throw an extension at his face. They're going to do everything they can to keep him here. Well, so far, we're coming up on late February, and we're not really hearing much about an extension. There's a lot of chit-chat. But, nothing like it seems like, those reliable people on Twitter, the reliable actual media folks, they're talking about any form of an extension. What if it's not to another team? What if it's to go work for the SEC network? What if it's to work in a broadcast booth somewhere? I mean, if you think about it, he rolled the dice this year with the portal and failed. I mean, let's just not kid ourselves. He failed miserably. The game of basketball, and it does suit him, ironically, but maybe there was another reason why he came to the college game altogether. Maybe there's another reason why he went to coach as an assistant at LSU and went on to Nevada, and maybe there's a reason why he hung around college basketball. Because it's a little bit different than the NBA, and it's not that, you're not dealing with contracts, you're not dealing with all the game of basketball since college athletics, I should say, it's changed so much that maybe he doesn't want to be a part of it. Now, we've already heard Josh Pate over at 247 talk about this, that there might be some coaches, and if I remember correctly, and I've been told this, I haven't heard Pate say this, but it may not just be football. And what if Muss is one of those guys? It's kind of been, we've not heard anything about him going to a network. You never know. It's just me kind of throwing this up. It may be BS. What if he's going to a network? The game of basketball, the college basketball has changed so much. You've got to rely on NIL and it's like free agency without any cap. It's all chaos. Even in the NBA, you have caps. There are league rules. None of that exists in college basketball, in college athletics. And not only that, he's talked about college officiating. He's talked about some of he brought up the other day about how the college game doesn't follow things the way the NBA does, and even how women's basketball in college, how they don't follow certain trends. It certainly seems to me like he's a little bit down. If you listen to him talk about just some of the way things have changed, and he lets little things slide here and there, I kind of wonder if he's not headed, if that's not an option that he's at least weighing. He sounds good behind a microphone. You guys hear him. You get some of these coaches, they do this, like, oh, well, yeah, we did. They're on the mic, and then he's there. He's present. He's got great mic skills. He sounds. He's clear. He can really bring he could bring the game down to you when you're talking to him, or when you hear him talk back and forth with the media. He can simplify the message and what he's trying to say. He's really good behind a microphone. I'm just saying, if I were a talent scout for the SEC network, I would offer him whatever I can. Not only that, he's a relevant name in college basketball. You're going to tell me he's 60 years old, and I know there's plenty of coaches that coach into their 70s. And he does strike me as someone who probably would do that, who would coach well into his 60s. I'm just saying, maybe it's not to another team. And again, Louisville's a lateral move. Louisville is just so crazy to me. It's just, if this were 10 years ago, again, I could understand, pre-NIL and everything, pre-portal, I could understand. But Arkansas has been able to get whoever the hell they want out of the portal. We've heard up until, lately, their NIL for basketball, those players are getting paid. Everyone has confirmed this. So I just have a hard time believing that it is that. If he were to leave, it's NIL. Louisville can offer more. Maybe they can. I don't know. But I just don't see that happening. And again, West Coast is the most. I still think he wants to coach. I still think he wants to do that. But it's something to think about. One way or another, whether he's back next year or not, I could see him down the road in a broadcast booth somewhere. What do you guys think? You tell me. Nah, he's going to coach till he's 80, Ty, and you're probably right. Let's see. I suspect there's not a lot of difference between the NBA contracts and the NIL contracts now. It's none of it, Justin. The problem with that, though, is none of it's – there's no optimization and there's no coverage. No one knows. There's no transparency with the NIL. And there's no rule in place. There's no capping. There's no real, the market is just kind of wild. It's all over the place. You hear about these players, some guys making $1 million, some guys maybe making a $250,000. There's no way of knowing. There's no transparency. It's not policed in the same way that it is in the professional sports. So I disagree. I think it is actually probably quite a bit different in that aspect. And again, I don't know. I don't want Muss to leave. If Muss wanted to stay, he would sign an extension. Well, Michael, we don't know if there's an extension been offered yet. We don't know. And I don't think there has been because we haven't heard any rumors of anything. Typically, when there's an extension offered, you'll start to hear the more reliable sources on Twitter, not just some fan, not someone, you know who to follow on Twitter and who's going to give you the legitimate information. And I think we'll have to wait and see. I've not heard anything about an extension offered yet. Now, if they've kept it under wraps, then that's a pretty damn good job. They did a really good job of doing just that, keeping it hidden. Hope I'm wrong, but I don't see much changing anything up unless UCLA opens up. Yeah, Cronin's not going anywhere. His buyout is massive. His buyout, if I heard correctly, he's going to be there. I mean, he was – yeah, they're having a bad year, but it is what it is. Like, I think a lot of schools have accepted that the portal has really messed things up, and you're going to have some down years. UCLA, if they walked away from Cronin, I don't know. I would give – I don't know. I was going to say I'd give everyone in Discord 100,000 XP if Cronin didn't – if he wasn't at USC or at UCLA next year. Hey, time still cheering the Hogs on from Arizona. Tim, I hated it, man. I had to pull your helmet down. I hated it. I had to pull your helmet down. They made me do it. Al Shadow says, no one said, be careful about the monster you build because you'll have to feed it every day. That's a really good point, Al. I see you, Al. That's a really good point. Build the statue. That's all I'm saying. Build Nolan's statue. Build it. Rick Pitino is brutally honest about his team. He's old and rich and doesn't care. Okay. He did say in an interview that one thing he missed from the NBA was traveling to the different cities. Well, I mean, I think some of these college towns are pretty nice, but he's kind of let some things slip, here and there. And they're not big slips, but if you pay attention, he's slipped up a little bit. University made you take it down. I'll have to explain that another night, what all happened. It's not a big deal. Not the university. No, the U of A did not make me take down. No. If Muss does get behind the mic someday, hopefully he'll have hopefully he'll have a nice giant NCAA championship ring on his finger that has a Hogs on it. Yeah, and I do think that is the one thing that makes me believe I would still veer more towards he's going to end up coaching regardless, but I do think down the road he ends up in a booth. I do. Well, they don't do that anymore. He's going to end up calling games or something. He's going to end up either on the SEC network or somewhere. He's traveled everywhere. They know who Musselman is. The guy, they know who he is, especially in the college basketball towns. If Mitchell could play, let's see, Money Mar says, if Mitchell could play this big man role this good the rest of the year, we will be scary. You got other work. You got a lot of work to do elsewhere. You got a lot of work to do elsewhere. It's not just Mitchell. I do agree with that, Mars. I do agree. If Mitchell can continue to play at this elevated level that he's been on, the post play lately has been really solid, and hopefully they get Graham back. Now imagine him and Graham. There's some matchups left to go in this year where if you have both those guys healthy and good to go. Did you guys see Mizzou tonight? I thought there for a minute. I was never concerned. I said it in Discord. Tennessee will find a way to win. That's what Tennessee does, and they did. But Mizzou gave them more than they could handle there for a little bit. They actually led at half, and Tennessee ends up taking the dub though, 72-67. They almost became Mizzou's first SEC win. How hilarious would that have been? They're 0-13. They are 0-13, Mizzou is. That is horrible. And now all of a sudden their fans just don't really care about basketball. Well, they're soon going to not care about baseball either as the Razorbacks spank that ass in Fayetteville. Bring it. March 15th, 16th, and 17th, we're going to spank that ass. We're going to sweep you, and we're going to get the sweep this year. This Saturday, 11 a.m., Arkansas going for another sweep, baby. They're going to sweep Mizzou in baseball and basketball. We're going to make up for that horrendous football game by sweeping you in the other two sports. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. All right. I'm done. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate the super chats. Super chat. Mr. Kicks and Kelly Williams, appreciate that so much. The PayPal, which I've not seen one of those in a long time. Appreciate you. That's awesome. Patreon supporters. Spring camp is almost here. Now we don't have anything yet from Razorback football, so we don't have any dates. but it's coming up. And my goal this year for Patreon supporters in Discord, in the football discussion page on Patreon or in Discord, I'm gonna get you guys. You're gonna get my first reactions to practice there, and of course any recruiting stuff. You guys have done a great job, kind of just giving your thoughts on recruiting. It's really good. I mean, yeah, there's some inside stuff. There's been some pretty good inside stuff there that ended up being pretty accurate, but also the takes and just kind of the discussions I watch. I don't always participate, but they've been pretty good. There's been some really good conversations happening there. So that's going to do it for me. I appreciate you guys. Send me my $3 PayPal receipt. Was that you? John? Oh, okay. John? It's PayPal. That's up to PayPal. I don't know, man. PayPal should have sent it to you. I appreciate that, Al. Yeah, so that's where everything's at. Over on, let me give you guys that link here really quick. If you want to join Discord, this is where everything's at. Here's Patreon. There's Patreon, and then here's Discord. If you're a Patreon supporter, this is where everything happens. Every once in a while, I'll upload a Patreon video to the Patreon site, but most everything else happens in Discord. And you got to be a Patreon supporter to see all the other stuff, right? You'll have access to main chat even if you're not a Patreon supporter, but like everything else is for Patreon supporters. So, all right, that's it. Great win for Arkansas. Let's see if they can keep this going. Oh man, here we go again. They have an opportunity. They should be favored against Missouri. That makes Saturday kind of feel like an important game, at least for whatever the hell's going to happen the rest of this year. Whatever that may be. So, I'll see you guys over on Discord. Don't forget, hey, if you're playing Helldivers 2, hit me up, baby. We're playing. We're having a blast. I've got my guy on screen right now. I might try to sneak in a game or two here in a little bit. All right, I'll see you guys later on. Enjoy the rest of your week.